friend. Welcome to the Mamahood After Trauma podcast. I'm your host, Emily Cleghorn. This podcast is for mamas navigating childhood trauma while also walking through mamahood. Together, we will empower each other to connect with who we were created to be versus who we were told to be in our trauma. I'm so excited that you've decided to take some time out of your day to join me and tune in. I hope you find this podcast uplifting and empowering. Let's get to it. Hello, friends. Welcome to this episode of the Mamahood After Trauma podcast. I am so excited to have this conversation today. Today, I want to talk about three things, three lessons, three components that you might not realize are incredibly important to your healing journey, to rising from the ashes of your trauma. So let's dive right in, shall we? The first component that really surprised me when I began my journey rising from the ashes of my trauma was I needed to have a vision. I needed to know what I wanted. And maybe you're like me. Maybe you felt like you've had a black cloud following you around over your head all of your life. And no matter what you did, no matter what help you sought out, the black cloud remained there. It stayed there regardless of what you did or what you said or all of those things. You need to have a vision. You know that you don't like your life the way that it is. You know that you don't like living your life with the black cloud over your head. But what do you want instead? What do you want instead of the black cloud? Do you want to just live your life in peace and find your group, your friend circle, your chosen family circle that loves and accepts you for who you are? Do you want to create an opposite childhood for your kids than the one that you experienced growing up? You need to know what it is that you want. It's kind of like reverse engineering. Well, it is. It's reverse engineering your life. Start with a goal in mind. You know that you don't like where you're at now, but where do you want to be? That's step one. The second thing is you need to believe in yourself. Believing in yourself is so immensely, massively, tremendously important. I've said this so many times to so many clients on so many different training videos that it's great if you have a significant other that believes in you, a parent, a friend. All of those things are great. But if you don't believe in you, that's the kicker. If you don't believe in you, you won't achieve what you want to achieve. That vision, that dream life isn't going to happen because you don't believe that you can achieve it, and nobody else can create your dream life for you. And when I say believe in yourself, I'm not talking about becoming self-centered and self-reliant. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about mending your crushed spirit. I'm talking about flipping the beliefs of I'm not good enough, I'm a waste of space, I'm not lovable, I'm not worthy of goodness, and turning that around. You don't need to be selfish and self-centered to heal. In fact, I'm probably betting that you, as a trauma survivor, as a trauma surviving mama, are not self-centered. You don't have it in you because your upbringing taught you to consider other people. But it also taught you to make yourself small, to minimize your needs, be it emotional or physical or spiritual. And it taught you that you don't matter. And my friend, you do matter. So believing in yourself is not an act, the way that I'm speaking of it is not an act of becoming selfish and self-centered, only thinking about yourself. It's simply giving yourself due credit. You are so strong. You have so much strength and resilience. You have so much to offer the world, your family, your little ones. But if you don't see it, it's going to be hard to use it to propel you forward into the vision that you have for your life. The third component, I guess, is what we're calling it today, is using your knowledge that you have, kind of taking a step back and looking at your life experience objectively. Yes, it hurt you. But what now, as an adult, what knowledge can you gain from that experience? What do you know now about your parents or your family, or maybe both, that you didn't know as a child or didn't have the ability to understand as a child, that you can say, okay, I know now that maybe mom wasn't given the best upbringing, and that impacted her in this way. And so she didn't understand how to be there for me. Because when you have the ability to step back and objectively look at your larger family dynamic so that you can understand how the cycle was repeated, because I can almost guarantee you that the cycle, your childhood upbringing, was the cycle repeating itself. And when you can acknowledge that, it doesn't make it okay. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't invalidate your feelings or your experience, but it gives it some perspective. And it makes it a bit easier to understand where it came from. Then you're able to understand that you as a child never did anything wrong. The abuse, the neglect, whatever it was not your fault. And so often as little children who were abused, we think, what did I do to make mommy or daddy not love me? What did I do to make them not want me? And it wasn't you. It was not you. And so now, as you go on your healing journey, and you can understand that, it adds an element of grace. It adds an ability to begin to forgive. And I'm not saying you have to forgive. Forgiveness, since I came here, I'm gonna address it. Forgiveness is not for the abuser. It is not a get out of jail free card, so to speak. Forgiveness is for you. It's for you. It's not for the person who hurt you. It's for you. It's to set you free. So, what can you do with these things? How do you begin to move forward with these things that I've talked about? Creating your vision, believing in yourself, and acknowledging, using your knowledge to propel you forward. Well, these are 3 things that I speak about in my book, Rising from the Ashes. But on my website, I'm in the show notes of this episode. It'll take you to a spot on my website where you can download a freebie that will help you to create a vision, work through the steps of believing in yourself, because there is a sequence to believing in yourself. You can't just go from I'm a waste of space to I'm the best thing since sliced bread. Your brain will pick up on that, and there is a science to it. And acknowledging your past, using that knowledge of your past, giving it some perspective, and flipping the script. So check out the show notes for that freebie. And if you have any questions, my inbox, be it DM or email, is always open. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Mamahood After Trauma podcast. If you resonated with what you heard, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share it with a friend who would also benefit, because we rise together. Until next time, Mama, keep shining.